So to start with our procurement activities, may I request Ms. Yvonne to lead the prayer. Good morning, everyone. To the BAC members, BAC TWG, BAC Secretariat, observers, our partners in the development and the people of the Republic of the Philippines, especially the constituent of Sultan Kudarat II District Engineering Office. Today, July 22, 2026, I would like to welcome you to the opening of bids for one civil works project. In one of the Department Order 105 Series of 2020, pursuant to Administrative Order 34 issued by the previous President Rodrigo Duterte dated October 23, 2020, wherein the principles of transparency and accountability in the public service were reiterated. And in order to avoid the irregularities in the procurement process, transparency and accountability in all government transactions, especially in procurement process, shall be observed. I formally welcome you to our DPWH SK2nd DEO YouTube live streaming. Before we start, I would like to request the BAC Secretariat, Mr. Lorenzo, to read the attendance to check and verify the quorumness of the BAC.
Good morning, everyone. Today is July 22, 2026. We're having opening of bids of one civil works project. I'll give to you the attendance of the opening of bids, but for that, I'll give the recap on what happened during the deadline of the dropping of bids. So at exactly 10 a.m. this morning, the bid box has been sealed and the case has been turned over in front of the presiding officer or chairperson. And the following bidder dropped their bids. We have JV Constec only. And for the attendance of the opening of bids, for our BAC members, we have our presiding officer, our BAC chairperson, the chief of the maintenance section, Engineer Rinaldo G. Castor. Together with our BAC members who was with us through our live streaming, our BAC vice chairperson, the chief of the planning design section, Engineer Abdel Ruden Ampatuan. Our BAC provisional member, Engineer Jade Cordero. Our BAC regular member, Engineer Johaira Magarang. And our end user representative for maintenance civil works project, also our BAC provisional member, Engineer Oliver Magluyan. For our BAC Technical Working Group headed by Engineer Rafi Kamamo, we have members of the BAC Technical Working Group, Engineer Connie Jane Padilla, Engineer Melody de Monteverde. And for our BAC Secretariat headed by Engineer Anthony Pinimen, members of the BAC Secretariat, yours truly, Franco Ribas Silorizo, and Sir Alan Enfreno, who is currently conducting the Civil Works Application Eligibility Processing. For our observers, we have invited observers, but so far, yung ating pong Commission on Audit is with us to our live streaming, represented by Ma'am Nerissa Samiliano. Sir, we have 5 out of 5 BAC members for Civil Works.
Thank you, Mr. Lorenzo. So I would like to formally open the bidding at exactly 10:28 in the morning. Now we will give the case of bid box to our TWG and observer. Kindly open the box. The box contains only one folder. We will be opening the one civil works project. The technical documents of civil works will be read while simultaneously processing for its eligibility through civil works application. So now we will proceed to the opening of the technical documents of civil works. We have only one project to be paid. The contract ID 26MH128, repair maintenance of slope protection structure of national roads along Awang Aupi, Labak, Calamansig, Palimbang, Sarangani Road. K 1996 plus 010 to K 1996 plus 041.5. Palimbang, Sultan Kudarat. Contract duration 60 calendar days with an EBC of 1,230,000. We have loan bidder, the JB Constec.
Opening the technical proposal of JB Consec. We have its field of certificate of registration, which is platinum. We have its DTI certificate of registration, valid. Mayor's permit, valid. Tax clearance certificate, valid. Audited financial statement, valid. Pickups license, valid. Therefore, its field of certificate of registration is platinum and also valid. List of all ongoing government and private contracts to be signed. Statement of singular discompleted contracts duly signed. Bid security in the form of bid securing declaration as per the standard form, duly signed and notarized, dated July 17, 2026. We have its organizational chart, duly signed. List of the contractors, key personnel to be assigned to the project, duly signed. List of the contractors, major equipment to be pledged to the contract, duly signed, including its material test, list of minimum material testing equipment. We have its omnibus sworn statement as per the standard form, duly signed and notarized. Sworn disclosure of relation and beneficial ownership. We have its audited financial statement, stamp received by the BIR. And lastly, we have its NFCC, which is greater than the ABC of the project being bidded out and also duly signed. Mr. Chair, the bidder has submitted all the technical requirement.
So kindly check if the CWE is finished. So let's read the eligibility result from our CWE. For GB Constec, for the contract ID 26MH0128, work experience passed, NFCC passed, eligible. So let's now open the financial proposal of GB Constec.
Opening the financial proposal of JB Concept for the project mentioned, we have its bid form, duly signed, BOQ, duly signed, all pages are signed, detailed estimates, all pages are signed, and we have also its cash flow by quarter, duly signed. For its bid offer,
The total bid price of GB Constec for contract ID 26MH0128, 1,228,300 pesos and 6 centavos. 1,228,300 pesos and 6 centavos. No discount offered. Now we have no bid proposal to open. I would like to remind the bidders that your documents still undergo the post-qualification and the result of this bidding is still not final. And for the other matters from our back member, TWG or Secretariat,
For the information, we have a pre-bid conference today for July 22, 2026 for 10 projects. And also we have an opening of bids to be scheduled on July 28, Tuesday 2026 for 8 civil works projects. That's all, and good morning.
so thank you. Now let's proceed to the closing of opening of bids. The motion was raised by Engineer Magarang and seconded by Engineer Cordero. I formally close this bidding at exactly 10:38 in the morning. Our bidding conference officially ended on behalf of the people of the Philippines, especially the people of Sultan Kudarat Second District Engineering Office. I would like to thank everyone for your participation. Have a good day. Morning to everyone, my back members, back TWG, to back secretariat, to observers, our partners in the development of the people of the Republic of the Philippines, especially the constituent Sultan Kudarat Second District Office. Today, I would like to welcome you to our, today, July 22, 2026. I would like to welcome you to our pre-bid conference in light of Department Order 105, Series of 2020, pursuant to Administrative Order 34, issued by the previous President Rodrigo Duterte, dated October 23, 2020, wherein the principles of transparency and accountability in the public service were reiterated, and in order to avoid the regulators' procurement process, transparency and accountability in all government transactions, especially in procurement process, shall be observed. I formally welcome you to the DPWH Second DEO YouTube live streaming for the pre-bid conference of 10 Civil Works project. So before we start, I would like to request the back secretariat, Mr. Lorizo, to read the attendance.
Good morning, everyone. Today is July 22, 2026, and we are having our pre-bid conference for 10 civil works contracts. And the attendance for the pre-bid conference, we have from our prospective bidder, from the firm Jordan Construction, represented by Danilo de los Reyes, sir. Morning. And for our back members, we have our presiding officer, our back chairperson, the chief of the maintenance section, Engineer Ronaldo G. Castor. Together with our back vice chairperson who is with us to our live streaming, the chief of the planning and design section, Engineer Abdel Ruden Ampatuan. With our back provisional member, Engineer Johaira Magarang, our end user representative for civil works, the chief of the construction section, Engineer Pinky Isderuin, and our back provisional member, Engineer Jade Cordero. For our back technical working group, headed by Engineer Rafi Di Camamao. We have for our back secretariat, headed by Engineer Anthony Pinimen, members of the back secretariat, yours truly, Franco Valorizo and Sir Alan Enfreno. And for our presenters from the planning and design section, we have Ma'am Danica Joy Padios, Ma'am Rosela Faye Avila, and Ma'am Quinilin Ramoran. We have invited observers so far, wala pa pong ibang observer. Maliban po sa ating Commission on Audit na na-mention kanina sa ating opening of bids, represented by Ma'am Nerissa Samiliano, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Lorizo. I would like to formally open this session at exactly 10:42 in the morning. So we have four agenda for this pre-bid as follows. The one is the brief presentation or explanation. And for the brief presentation, we have to discuss the basic contract data, requirements of bidding documents, documents to be submitted by the bidders. And next is the question or comments from bidders and replies of BAC and the other representative from procuring entity. The third is the other matters, and the last is the summary proceedings, including bid bulletins to be issued. Now we have 10 projects for this pre-bid conference for July 22, 2026. For the first project is the 26 MH 0019, replacement of bridge, Midol Bridge, Alungawang Upi Libak, Kalamansig, Palimbang, Sarangani Road, with an EBC of 26,460,820 pesos. Next is the 26 MH 0028, Rehabilitation, Major Repair of Bridge, Wall Bridge, Alungawang Upi Ilibak, Kalamansig, Palimbang, Sarangani Road, with an EBC of 5,265,540 pesos. Then 26 MH 0030, widening of bridge, Gapok Bridge, along Isulan Junction, Ninoy Aquino Road, with an EBC of 26,468,820 pesos. And 26 MH 0036, construction of concrete road to Kaabay Sirapinang Road, Bagumbayan, Iski in support of the agri-based industries, pineapple, coffee, rubber, corn, and muscovado processing plant. Station 14 plus 401 to Station 15 plus 176, Bagumbayan, Sultan Kudarat, with an EBC of 23,234,820 pesos. For the next project is the 26 MH 0037, construction, completion of bridge phase 3, Station 0 plus 00 to Station 0 plus 140, Barangay Kalamungog, Libak, Sultan Kudarat, with an EBC of 24,125,000. And for the next project is the 26 MH 0043, concreting of road, Barangay Kulaman, Barangay Kiadsam, Barangay Midtungok, Station 0 plus 00 to Station 1 plus 00, Senator Aquino, Sultan Kudarat, with an EBC of 23,560,195 pesos. And for the next project is the 26 MH 0044, construction of drainage structure along road, Station plus 00 to Station 0 plus 650, Barangay Santa Maria, Calamansig, Sultan Kudarat, with an EBC of 4,230,455 pesos. For the next project is the contract ID 26 MH 0064, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Kapilan, Libak, Sultan Kudarat, with an EBC of 6,930,000. And for the next project is the 26 MH 0094, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Batang, Baglas, Palimbang, Sultan Kudarat, with an EBC of 4,950,000. And for the rest project is the 26 MH0123, improvement of DPWH Sultan Kudarat Second District Engineering Office, main building, Libak Sultan Kudarat, with an EBC of 34,300,000. So now I will give the floor to the planning engineers for the basic contract data as well the discussion of plans.
Good morning, so especially to everyone present here. So I'll be presenting the projects for today's pre-bid. So we have here the project with the contract ID number 26 MH0019. The contract name is replacement of bridge, Midol Bridge B00145 MN along Awang Upi Liba, Kalamansig, Palimbang, Sarangani Road with an ABC of 26,468,820. So we have here with a physical target of 25 meters. So here is the index of shade. And the summary of quantities for the individual removal of trees with 150 to 300 mm diameter small, we have here 8 each. For the removal of structures or obstruction for steel, we have 23,724.53 kilograms. For the removal of structures or obstruction for concrete, we have 63.32 cubic meters. For the structural excavation of common soil, we have 243.36 cubic meters. For the bridge excavation for common soil, we have 59.61 cubic meters. For the shoring, cribbing, and related works, we have one lump sum. For the embankment from borrowed common soil, we have 2,455.28 cubic meters. For the aggregate sub-base course, we have 518.93 cubic meters. For the gravel surface course, we have 28.05 cubic meters. For the Portland cement concrete pavement with 0.28 meter thick, we have 1,252.90 square meters. For the precast concrete piles furnished, we have 352 meters. For the precast concrete piles driven, we have 352 meters. For the test piles furnished and driven, we have 32 meters. For the pile shoes, we have 24 each. For the reinforcing steel grade 40, we have 2,483.22 kilograms. For the reinforcing steel grade 60, we have 39,347.20 kilograms. For the structural concrete, with 20.68 MPa, we have 5.44 cubic meters. For the structural concrete with 27.58 MPa, we have 237.17 cubic meters. For the pre-stressed structural concrete members, we have 4 each. For the elastomeric bearing pads, we have 8 each. For the pre-formed sponge rubber joint expansion, we have 0.36 cubic meters. For the paint, we have 211.74 square meters. For the grouted riprap, we have 344.50 cubic meters. For the concrete for slope protection, we have 20.54 cubic meters. For the deck drain, we have 8 each. For the tapered solar LED roadway lighting, we have 6 each. So here is the quarry map, the vicinity map, the geolocation map of this project, the general notes, the topographic plan, the plan for the abutment, the general elevation and its typical section, the pile splice detail, the elevation, the pile tip for hard driving. You have here the welded spiral tie splice detail in the notes. So we have here the framing plan showing top reinforcing steel bars and the framing plan showing the bottom reinforcing steel bars. We have here the longitudinal section, the transverse section at the middle of span, and the transverse section at support. So we have here the reinforcement schedule and estimated quantities for superstructures, the pre-stress girder elevation, the section at mid-span, section at end block, and the tooth at end view. Here's the tooth detail, the end block reinforced detail, the dowels at the end and mid block. So we have here the girder design guide and the camber diagram. We have here the the details of diaphragm at the middle, its transverse section at abutment, the elevation and section, the reinforcement schedule and estimated quantities for superstructure, plan in the section, the elevation abutment detail, and the elevation wing wall detail. You have here the pile cap plan section, the pile cap section, the shear block and riser plan, the shear block section, and the shear block and riser elevation. We have here the reinforcement schedule and estimated quantities for abutment. We have here the railings plan and the railings elevation. We have here the railings detail, reinforcement schedule, and paraffin joint, deflection joint, and the estimated quantities. We have here the plan for drain pipe, the sidewalk detail, its section, the typical drain details, its plan, and its section. The up slab plan and its section. We have here the reinforcement schedule and estimated quantities for the approach slab. We have here the multiplex expansion joint detail, its section at abutment, and the typical installation procedure. Here is the reinforcement schedule and estimated quantities for approach slab. We have here the general plan, standard painting on railing, sidewall, and wing wall. Here is the plan for the white paint, and the white paint on chamfer facing the center line and its rear elevation. So we have here the front elevation and the text detail. We have here the details of abutment protection 1 and the details of abutment protection 2. We have here the bar bending diagram of abutment protection, the boring log, and the general plan. The cross sections, we have here the river profile. We have here the typical road section and the typical roadway section, full super elevation. We have here the typical roadway section at grouted riprap slope protection. We have here the grouted riprap typical detail and the detail of whip holes. We have here the detail of reinforced concrete RC pedestal, the detail of integrated solar street lights, we have here the traffic management plan, and the DPWH standard tarpaulin. So the next is with the contract ID number of 26MH0030, with the contract name of widening of Bridge, Gapok Bridge B00613 MN along Isulan Junction to Ninoy Aquino Road, with the ABC of 26,468,820, with a physical target of 16.6 meters. So for the summary of quantities, for the removal of actual structure obstruction, 910 mm diameter RCPC, we have 5 linear meter. For the removal of structures or obstruction concrete, we have 157 cubic meters. For the surplus common excavation, we have 510.51 cubic meters. For the structure excavation of common soil, we have 134.16 cubic meters. For the bridge excavation common soil, we have 208.31 cubic meters. For the shoring, cribbing, and related works, we have 1 lump sum. For the embankment from barrow of common soil, we have 177.45 cubic meters. For the subgrade preparation of common materials, we have 730.30 square meters. For the aggregate sub-base course, we have 146.06 cubic meters. For the Portland cement pavement of 0.28 meter thick, we have 730.30 square meters. For the precast concrete piles furnished, we have 352 meters. For the precast concrete piles driven, we have 352 meters. For the test piles furnished and driven, we have 32 meters. For the pile shoes, we have 24 each. For the splicing of RC piles with epoxy, we have 24 each. For the concrete railing standard, we have 31.88 meters. For the reinforcing steel grade 40, we have 1,324 kilograms. For the reinforcing steel grade 60, we have 48,271 kilograms. For the structural concrete, we have 196 cubic meters. For the lean concrete, we have 4.16 cubic meters. For the paint, we have 102 square meters. For the elastomeric bearing pads, we have 12 each. For the preform sponge rubber joint expansion, we have 0.54 cubic meters. For the pipe culverts of 910 mm diameters, we have 6 linear meter. For the grouted riprap, we have 52.38 cubic meters. For the sheet piles steel for slope protection, we have 246 linear meters. For the concrete for slope protection, we have 47 cubic meters. For deck drain type 1, we have 8 each. For the reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white, we have 40.08 square meters. For the reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings yellow, we have 40.08 square meters. So we have here the index of sheet and the quarry map. Here is the location map, the vicinity map, and the geotag photo. So here is the topographic plan, the general notes, the general plan, the general elevation, and the typical cross-section at abutment A. The cofferdamming detail, so here is the plan, the elevation, and its section. We have here the roadway profile and the river profile. The river cross-section. We have here the bore log. We have here the framing plan showing top reinforcing steel bars. And here is the framing plan showing bottom reinforcing steel bars and the longitudinal section. We have here the typical cross-section. The reinforcement schedule and estimated quantities for superstructure of 16.6 single span. We have here the plan for multiplex, the details, the section at widening, the section at abutment, and the typical installation procedure. We have here the girder, elevation, and the bottom bar schematic layout. Here is the diaphragm at support detail. So here is its elevation, the section, and the intermediate diaphragm detail. So here is the elevation and its section. So here is the reinforcement schedule and estimated quantities for superstructure of 16.6 single span. So its plan and section for the concrete pouring sequence. So here, we have here the details of post and railings. So here's the plan, the elevation, the paraffin joint, deflection joint. So here's the railing details. So the section, the sidewalk detail, the reinforcement schedule, and estimated quantities for railing. So here is the typical drain details. So its plan and section. Here is the abutment plan. So in this area, it is the abutment section. So here is the pile cap plan, wing wall section, elevation of wing wall. Here is the shear block and riser plan. Here's the reinforcement schedule and estimated quantities for the abutment. So here, the pile elevation, pile splice detail, and the pile tip for hard driving. So we have here the approach slab detail. So here's the plan and its section. We have here the reinforcement schedule and estimated quantities for the approach slab. We have here the plan for the standard painting. We have here the road cross-section. So we have here the typical roadway section in its quantity sheet. So we have here the abutment protection detail. So we have here the end cover of abutment protection section at abutment B downstream. So the details of end cover of abutment protection at abutment B downstream section B. And here is the details of RCPC at abutment protection upstream at abutment A, then the abutment at A and B, and the detail of whip holes. So we have here the detail of 1,220 mm diameter RCPC installation. Here's the standard DPWH billboard. Next is with the contract ID number of 26MH0044 with the name of contract, construction of drainage structure along road, station 0+00 to station 0+650, Barangay Santa Maria, Calamansig, Sultan Kudarat, with the physical target of 0.650 kilometers. So we have here the index of sheet, the quarry map. So for the summary of quantities, removal of actual structures or obstruction with 910 mm diameter RCPC, we have 6 linear meters. For the removal of structures, obstruction concrete, we have 17 cubic meters. For the unsuitable excavation, we have 521.59 cubic meters. For the reinforcing steel grade 40, we have 5,781 kilograms. For the structural concrete, we have 124 cubic meters. For the pipe culverts of 910 mm diameter, we have 6 linear meters. For the pipe culverts of 1,220 mm diameter, we have 6 linear meters. For the cement plaster finish, we have 1,172.80 square meters. For the CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel, we have 1,172.80 square meters. So we have here the general notes, the vicinity map of the project, the general plan, the geolocation plan, the typical sections at RCPC of with 1,220 mm diameter junction, and the typical section of line CHB canal. So we have here the detail of the line canal, the typical section, the detail of the line canal, the line canal profile, the line canal traverse plan, the typical section of the line CHB canal. We have here the cross sections, and the standard DPWH tarpaulin.
So once again, good morning to each and everyone. I am Queenie Lindy Ramoran, coming from Planning and Design section. So I'll be having a brief discussion of this project. So we have here the 26MH0036, construction of concrete road to by Sarapinang Road in Bagabayan, Sultan Kudarat, in support of agri-based industries, pineapple, coffee, rubber, and corn and muscovado processing plant, with a station of 14 plus 401 to station 15 plus 176, located in Bagumbayan, Sultan Kudarat, with an ABC amount of 23,234,820 pesos. So here is the detailed engineering design plan of this project. So we have the index of drawing, so we can see here the pages of this project. Next would be the vicinity map, location map of this project. Next would be the general notes, legends and symbols, and also the abbreviations. Another general notes, and again another general notes. Next would be the quarry map. And here is our summary of quantities. For our earthworks, we have individual removal of trees, 150 to 300 mm diameter. Small, we have 23 each. Unsuitable excavation, we have 1,748.42 cubic meter. Structure excavation common soil, we have 218.44 cubic meter. Embankment from barrow, we have 1,451.99 cubic meter. And sa grid preparation common material natin, we have 7,134.40 square meter. And for our sub-base and base course, we have aggregate sub-base course with 1,669.61 cubic meter. And for our surface courses, we have Portland cement concrete pavement. Yung unreinforced one natin, we have 0.15 meter thick 14 days with quantity of 2,325 square meter. And for our Portland cement concrete pavement, unreinforced 0.23 thick 14 days, we have 4,837.30 square meter. And next would be the reinforcing steel grade 60 natin. We have 9,989 kilograms. And for reinforcing steel grade 40 natin, we have 5,908.60 kilograms. And for structural concrete, 20.68 MPa, class A, 28 days, quantity of 349.70 cubic meter. And for the drainage and slow protection structures natin, we have pipe culverts, 1,220 mm diameter, class 2 RCPC, 10 lineal meter. Pipe culverts po natin na 910 mm diameter, class 2 RCPC, we have 30 lineal meters po. And for our miscellaneous structures, we have trees furnishing and transplanting, 30 each. Reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings, white, 155 square meter. And for the reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings, yellow, we have 116.25 square meter. And last, for our tapered solar lead roadway lighting, 8 meter height, 60 watts to 100 watts, we have 39 each. And next would be the quantity sheets of this project. And next would be the typical roadway section. So we have RCBC and RCPC here. And we have canal. Next would be the straight line diagram of this project. And next is the traverse plan and center line profile of this project. So makikita po natin dito yung stationings po, kung saan po na nakalagay yung mga RCPC and then yung RCBC po natin. So next would be the typical pavement po ng ating PCCP. Next is the geometric design standards. And here is the detail of our reinforced concrete line canal with concrete planks po. So nandito rin po sa upper side, sa left side yung kanyang station limits. Next would be the detail of our catch basin. And next would be the detail of our landslide protection na retaining wall po natin. And the detail of 910 mm diameter, 36 inches RCPC installation. So ito po yung sa detail na installation po ng RCPC. Next would be another detail po ng RCPC natin. And nandito rin po yung schedule ng drainage po. Yung kung anong station pong ilalagay po yung RCPC. Next would be the detail ng RCBC po natin, yung box culvert po natin. So, ang next po ang RCBC detail po ng wing wall. And next would be the cross-sections of this project. Detail po ng solar street light po natin. So, eto po yung mga general notes po ng street lights. And next would be the detail of pavement markings. Next is ang traffic management po natin. Yung mga signages po natin sa site po, nandito po. And lastly, yung DPWH project billboard po at saka yung sa COA. So next project we have contract ID of 26MA0037 with the construction completion of bridge phase 3 with the station 0+00 to station 0+140 at Barangay Kalamungog, Libak, Sultan Kudarat with an IBC amount of 24,125,000. And here is the detailed engineering design plan of this project. So, phase 3 na po ito. Nandun na po yung hanging bridge natin. And then, mga additional po ito na structures po. So, for our summary of quantities, we have earthworks, individual removal of trees, 301 to 500 mm diameter small. We have 10 each. Removal of structures of obstruction steel, 3,213.60 kilogram. And for removal of structures, substruction concrete, we have 1 cubic meter. And for structural excavation common soil natin, we have 357.70 cubic meter. And for bridge excavation common soil, we have 1,406.21 cubic meter. And for shoring, cribbing, and related works, cribbing and copper damming, 1 lump sum. Embankment from barrow, structure excavation common soil, we have 1,072.90 cubic meter. And for embankment from barrow na common soil, we have 487.38 cubic meter. And next would be the precast concrete piles furnished natin, 400 mm by 400 mm, 273 meters. And for the precast concrete piles driven, 273 meters. Test piles, furnished and driven, 400 by 400 mm, 24 meters. Piles, shoes po natin, we have 27 each. And splicing of RC piles with epoxy, we have 11 each. Standard steel furnished, fabricated, and erected grade 50, we have 9,271.78 kilogram. And for structural steel furnished steel painting works, we have 1,126 square meter. For reinforcing steel grade 40, we have 179 kilograms. And for steel grade 60, we have 10,360 kilograms. And for structural concrete, 27.58 MPa, Class A, 28 days, we have 158 cubic meters. And for lean concrete, Class B, 16.5 MPa, we have 5.62 cubic meter. And for the drainage and slope protection structures natin, we have grouted riprap Class A, 197 cubic meter. And then yung sa sheet pile, steel slope protection, we have 1,446 lineal meter. Sa concrete slope protection natin, we have 327 cubic meter po. Next would be the index of sheets, quarry map. And next is the location map and the vicinity map. And next page will be the topographic map of this project. Next is general notes, abbreviations and symbols. Next is your general plan and general elevation of this project. And next is the typical traverse elevation of this project. So, ito may mga existing na po dito. So, additional na lang po itong sa phase 3 po natin. So, ito po yung sa detail ng wind guy po natin. Next would be detail din po ng deadman puting sa bar details niya at saka yung puting plan niya po ito anong deadman elevation niya po. Next would be the wind guy at Pier 1 upstream elevation. Wind guy repair details. So may repair po dito sa wind guy na portion. Next would be the detail of pile po, yung sa splicing. Next would be the detail of sa piles pa rin po, yung sa welded spiral tile piles details. Next would be the pier protection detail. So ito po yung additional ata ito siya kasi phase 3 na po siya. Next would be the pier protection detail. And here we have the grouted riprap detail. And ito po yung detail ng debris barrier. So mag-i-install po ng debris barrier po doon sa para hindi po matamaan yung hanging bridge po natin. And next lastly pala yung hindi pa pala DPWH project billboard. Next would be the warning signs. And lastly, the traffic management plan of this project. So we have 26 MA0043, concreting of road at Barangay Kulaman, Barangay Kedsam, Barangay Midtungok with a station of 0+00 to station 1+00, located at St. Ninoy Aquino Sultan Kudarat with an ABC amount of 23,568,195 pesos. So here is the detailed engineering design plan of this project. Next would be the index of drawing, the vicinity map and the location map of this project, general notes, legend symbols and abbreviations, general notes, another general notes, quarry map of this. And next would be the summary of quantities. For earthworks, we have individual removal of trees, 150 to 300 mm diameter. Small, we have 10 each. Sa structure excavation common soil natin, we have 1,080.01 cubic meter. And for embankment from barrow natin ng common soil, we have 3,155.47 cubic meter. And yung subgrade preparation common material natin, we have 7,300 square meter. And for sa base and base course natin, we have aggregate sa base course with 1,880 cubic meter. And for surface courses po natin, we have the Portland cement concrete pavement under enforced na 0.15 thick. 14 days, we have 1,176 square meter. And for Portland cement concrete pavement natin na unreinforced na 0.23 meter thick, 14 days, we have 6,128.06 square meter. And for our reinforcing steel grade 40, we have 11,708.11 kilograms. And for structural concrete, 20.68 MPa class A, 28 days, we have 190.95 cubic meter. And for the drainage and slope protection structures po natin, yung pipe culverts natin, we have 910 mm diameter class 2 RCPC 27 linear meters. And for pipe culverts na 1,200 mm diameter class 2 RCPC, we have 10 linear meters. And for grouted riprap natin na class A, we have 1,006.55 cubic meters. Next would be the quantity sheets of this project. And next is yung typical roadway of this project. So we have RCBC here. And may propose pa tayo na RCPC. And we have grouted riprap po na structures. Next is the straight line diagram. And next is the plan and profile of this project, yung traverse plan po natin at saka yung center line profile po natin. Next would be the typical payment details of this section. Next is the geometric design standards. And here is the detail po ng grouted riprap po natin. So we have 2.5 meters, 1.5 and 1 meter height grouted riprap po dito sa ating project. Next would be the detail po ng RCPC natin. And we have here the schedule of RCPC structure. Detail po ng installation po ng RCPC natin. Detail po ng RCBC. And the cross-section of this project po. So, makikita po dito kung saan po nakalagay yung mga structures. And next would be the traffic management plan of this project. Yung mga warning signs. And lastly po yung DPWH Standard Project Billboard from DPWH and sa COA po. So we have 26 MH 0028, rehabilitation of major repair of bridge wall 2 with bridge ID of B00337MN along Awang Upilibak, Kalamansig, Palimbang, Sarangani Road. So here is the detailed engineering design plan of this project. So here is the vicinity map and the topographic map of this project, and also the index of drawing. Next would be the symbols and abbreviations, general notes. And here is the summary of quantities. For our earthworks, we have clearing and grabbing, 0.07 hectare. Removal of actual structural obstruction, PCCP, and reinforce, 0.23 meter thick. We have 289 square meter. Removal of structural obstruction of concrete, we have 60 cubic meter. And for structural excavation, common soil, we have 68 cubic meter. And sa embankment from Barrow po, we have common soil na 16.23 cubic meter. And sa surface courses po, we have aggregate sub-base course, 57.62 cubic meter. And surface courses po natin, we have Portland cement concrete pavement and reinforced, 0.28 meter thick, 14 days, 288.10 square meter. And next would be the reinforcing steel, grade 60. We have 8,738 kilograms. Structural concrete na 27.58 MPa, class A, 28 days. We have 52 cubic meter. And para sa painting po natin, sa paint, we have 104 square meter. And sa carbon fiber sheet, 2-layer po natin, we have 131.70 square meter. And sa reinforcing steel, grade 40 po, we have 810 kilograms. Structural concrete, 20.68 MPa, class A, 28 days. We have 8 cubic meter. And yung miscellaneous structures po dito, we have reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white, 12.56 square meter. And sa reflectorized thermoplastic markings yellow, we have 9.42 square meter. And yung sa tapered solar lead roadway lighting natin, yung sa street light, 8 meters height, 60 watts to 100 watts natin, we have 8 each. And next page would be the general plan. So, na-show po yung underdeck. So, lalagyan po ng carbon fiber po yung sa girder at saka sa bottom ng deck slab po ng bridge. The general plan and the elevation. And here is the geotag photos of this project. So, magkakaroon po dito ng redecking po. Next would be the typical pavement details of sections. And next would be the framing plan, the longitudinal section, cross-section showing dimensions po. And yung cross-section showing reinforcement po. Para po sa redecking ng slab po. Reinforcement schedule and estimated quantities of superstructure. Next would be the plan elevation sa typical ng railing at saka sa sidewalk po na detail ito. And here also the reinforcement schedule of estimated quantities for railings. So sidewalk and railings and also the drain detail naka-indicate po dito. And also ang reinforcement schedule, estimated quantities for sidewalk. Next page would be the carbon fiber sheet na na detail. So itong sa bottom po ng deck, sa pagkasabi ko kanina, lalagyan po siya ng fiber sheet para mas strengthen po yung deck slab niya. Next would be the carbon fiber sheet sa girder naman po. So ito po naka-indicate po at support po L/4 po yung lalagyan ng carbon fiber sheet. Next would be the typical approach slab of this bridge. The river profile of this bridge. Next would be the roadway profile and typical roadway section. So, bali, existing na po tong mga structure natin na riprap. Magkakaroon lang po tayo ng remove and replace po dito sa PCCP. Next would be the detail ng street light po natin, yung general notes niya po. Ito po yung detail ng street lights. And ito po yung stationing niya or yung schedule ng street light po natin at saka yung detail niya po. Next would be the detail of pavement markings po. And next would be the detail ng project billboard, traffic management plan po nitong ating project, mga signages at ang mga warning signs po. And lastly po, yung details sa paint po natin sa railings at saka sa wing wall niya po na portion. So that would be all po. Once again, good morning.
So for the next project, we have a contract ID of 26MH0064. The project name is Construction of Multipurpose Building, Barangay Kapilan, Lebak, Sultan Kudarat, latitude with the coordinates of 6.710167 and 124.209323 with approved budget for the contract is 6,930,000 pesos. So here is the detailed engineering design for this project. We have the location map, exterior perspective, site development plan, as well as the table of contents. Next, we have the front elevation, right side elevation, ground floor plan, and second floor plan, as well as the schedule of floor and wall finishes for reference. Next, we have the longitudinal section through Y and cross section through X, the rear elevation and left side elevation, the schedule of doors and windows. Note, wall finishes must be applied with neutralizer, concrete seal or primer, patching compound, skim coat, and 2 coats of paint, semi-gloss latex. Ceiling finishes must be applied with glazing putty, flat wall enamel quick dry, and tinting color. For painting of steel, structure use gray oxide primer with catalyst before applying an enamel paint. And use heavy-duty cylindrical door knob for door 3. Submit sample prior for the approval of barangay chairperson and DPWH representative or architect. Next, we have the reflected ceiling plan for ground floor and second floor. And the schedule of ceiling. Next, we have the roof plan, the typical detail of ceiling joists, isometric view of rib-type roof, roofing fixer, roof panel side lap detail, the blow-up, tech screw spacing, detail of concrete canopy, and the gutter detail. Next, we have the ramp detail, its sectional elevation, the detail of railings, detail of furnitures for table and chair. We have the top elevation and front elevation for the table, and the reference for the mobile pedestal recessed handle, 25 sets. Next, we have the details of stairs, its sectional elevation, its blow-up detail. Next, the concrete letter S detail, the front elevation section details. Next, we have the general notes, continuation of general notes. Next, we have the typical detail of column, the framing plan, the typical detail of beam. We have three detail of beams and 3 detail for columns. Next, we have the roof framing plan, the rafter truss. We have 4 detail of splice, 4 L bars and C purlins. Next, we have the water layout plan, second sanitary layout plan, and storm drainage layout plan for ground floor and second floor. And the isometric layout plan for sanitary, storm drainage, and water line, and the legend for reference. Next, we have the catch basin detail, its cross-section, the floor flange detail, the PCD01 and PCT02 detail. And for reference, we have 3,000 liters stainless steel water tank storage. Next is the lighting layout plan and power layout plan for ground floor and second floor. For reference, we have luminaire 2 by 36 watts, fluorescent truffer type of mirrorized reflector, and 6 inches diameter 18 watts downlight. Next, we have the load schedule, the electrical riser diagram for panel board 2 and panel board 1. Next, we have the window type AC detail, ACCU mounting detail, FCU mounting detail. The one-line diagram, the recessed mounted luminaire for reference, the panel board or distribution panel board for reference, the receptacle outlet, wall mounting detail for reference. Next, we have the emergency layout plan for ground floor and second floor, and the fire extinguisher detail as well as the schedule. Next, we have the traverse plan, the center line profile, and typical roadway section for normal crown. Here are these cross sections for each stations. Next is the coloring details, minimum pipe covering, detail of pipe color, longitudinal section, its sections of RCPC, typical bedding for conduits, minimum pipe covering, methods of pipe installation. Next, we have the detail of 910 millimeter diameter or 36 inches diameter RCPC installation, its plan and longitudinal section. Next is the typical bedding for RCPC with lean concrete, its cross-section, and the design requirement of reinforced concrete pipe culvert. Next, we have the single arm post details. Note, Include additional detail for desired lamp post to be used and refer and verify to FIBECO standards. Second, refer to DPWH electrical, technical specs for lamp post, wattage rating, mounting height, and spacing equivalent. Next, we have the detail of integrated street light post, the detail of reinforced concrete pedestal, and the footing plan for the pedestal. Next, we have the projection, detail of projection pipe connection. We have two types of connection. For the summary of quantities, for structure excavation, we have 267.47 cubic meters. Embankment from roadway or structure excavation, 266.49 cubic meters. Embankment from borough, 176.97 cubic meters. Gravel fill, 66.15 cubic meters. Structural concrete, 3,000 psi. Class A, 83.46 cubic meters. Reinforcing steel, grade 40, 2,497.38 kilograms. Reinforcing steel, grade 60, 1,391.66 kilograms. For formworks and falseworks, we have 323.11 square meters. For CHB non-load bearing, 150 millimeters, 152.82 square meters. For carpentry and joinery works, 1 lump sum. Finishing hardware, 1 lump sum. For aluminum frame glass door, swing type, 18.90 square meters. For aluminum glass window sliding type, 16.12 square meters. For aluminum glass windows fixed type, 16.38 square meters. For doors flush, we have 6.72 square meters. For ceiling, 4.5 millimeter fiber cement board, 227 square meters. For glazed tiles and trims, 213.64 square meters. For unglazed tiles, we have 25.46 square meters. For cement plaster finish, we have 454.27 square meters. For reflective insulation, we have 194.75 square meters. For painting works, masonry, we have 867.48 square meters. Painting works for steel, we have 103.71 square meters. For flashings, we have 33.25 linear meter. For gutters, we have 14.5 linear meter. For pre-painted metal sheets, rib type, 131.41 square meters. For structural steel, we have 1 lump sum. For trusses, we have 306.40 kilograms. For purlins, we have 756.8 kilograms. For bolts and rods, 60 each. For steel plates, 71.83 kilograms. For fire extinguisher, 3 sets. For air conditioning system, 1 lump sum. For catch basin, we have 5 each. For sewer line works, we have 1 lump sum. For storm drainage and downspout, 1 lump sum. Plumbing fixtures, 1 lump sum. For cold water lines, 1 lump sum. For conduits, boxes, and fittings, 1 lump sum. For wires and wiring devices, 1 lump sum. For panel board with main and branch breakers, we have 1 lump sum. And lighting fixtures, 1 lump sum. Next, we have the geohazard map for Municipality of Lebac and the standard project billboard for DPWH and COA. The next project with the contract ID of 26MH0094, the project name is Construction of Multi-Purpose Building, Barangay Batang Baglas, Palimbang, Sultan Kudarat, with the coordinates of 6.344320 to 124.122574, with the approved budget for the contract is 4,950,000 pesos. So here is the detailed engineering plan for this project. We have the perspective, the site development plan, the location map, as well as the table of contents. Next, we have the floor plan. and the schedule of floor and wall finishes. Next is the note. We have total floor area of the gym 492.48 square meters. And note, wall finishes must be applied with a neutralizer, concrete seal or primer, patching, compound, skim coat, and 2 coats of paint. And all concrete pedestal AG 304 deep forest painted finish. Next, we have the left or right side elevation, sectional elevation through Y, the details of girth and gutter. Next, we have the detail of end cover, 2 units, the sectional elevation through X, as well as the detail of the louver. Next, we have the roof plan and the ramp detail. It's elevation, plan, and isometric view, as well as the spot detail. Next, we have the general notes, the foundation plan, detail of wall footing, and stiffener column. We have the detail of F1C1, the detail of base plate, the detail of girth 2 units, beam layout. Next, we have the roof framing plan, the detail of strut, the reference weld detail, detail of girth 1, detail of splice for L bars and C purlins, the detail of sagrad, the isometric view, the tech screw spacing, roof panel side lap detail, roofing fixer, detail of sway brace, overlapping, and turn bucket. Next, we have the detail of truss assembly, detail 1 and 2, and detail 3 of truss connector plate, detail of splice plate. Next, we have the lighting layout plan for the gym, its specification, and note, electrical fixture, please submit similar description for confirmation. Next, we have the power layout plan and the wall mounting detail for receptacle outlet. Next, we have the single line diagram, the panel board diagram, and the panel board or the distribution panel board for reference, its specification. Next, we have the general notes and specifications, hybrid inverter specifications, solar panel specifications, legends and symbols for reference, the block diagram, its PV electrical design analysis, and its abbreviations. Note, provide 1 set battery for the specification. First life PO4 battery 51 2 volts 314 ampere 80 time cycle. Second, 5 years warranty, 3 Wi-Fi and Bluetooth control. Next, we have the fire extinguisher layout plan, the fire extinguisher detail and its schedule, as well as the general notes. The geohazard map for municipality of Palimbang. For the summary of quantities, structure excavation, 71.4 cubic meters. Embankment from roadway or structure excavation, 47.86 cubic meters. Embankment from borough, 123.24 cubic meters. For gravel fill, 55.50 cubic meters. Structural concrete, 3,000 psi, 73.36 cubic meters. Reinforcing steel, grade 40, 1,760.42 kilograms. Reinforcing steel, grade 60, 1,443.96 kilograms. For formworks and false works, we have 81.78 square meters. For CHB non-load bearing 100 millimeters, we have 75.78 square meters. For carpentry and joinery works, we have 116.88 square meters. For painting works, masonry, we have 116.88 square meters. For painting works, steel, we have 883.79 square meters. For ridge or hip rolls, we have 32.4 linear meters. Next, we have gutters, 64.80 linear meters. For pre-painted metal sheets, rib type, we have 752.56 square meters. For structural steel, one lump sum. For trusses, we have 4,017.3 kilograms. For purlins, we have 126.58 kilograms. For bolts and rods, we have 280 each. For turnbuckle, we have 20 each. For cross bracing, we have 322.32 kilograms. For steel plates, we have 535.12 kilograms. For fire extinguisher, we have 2 sets. For solar panel with inverter, battery, and other devices, we have 1 lump sum. For conduits, boxes, and fittings, we have 1 lump sum. For wires and wiring devices, we have 1 lump sum. For panel board with main and branch breakers, we have 1 lump sum. For lighting fixtures, we have 1 lump sum. And the standard project billboard for DPWH and COA. For the last project, we have a contract ID of 26MH0123. The project name is Improvement of DPWH Sultan Kudarat 2nd District Engineering Office, Main Building, Libak, Sultan Kudarat, with the coordinates of 6.643298 to 124.07073. With the approved budget for the contract, 34,300,000 pesos. So this is the detailed engineering plan for this project. We have its perspective, location map, the site development plan, as well as the table of contents. Next, we have the ground floor plan with a total floor area of 797.9 square meters for ground floor and 814.65 square meters with a total of 1,612.55 square meters. Note, wall finishes must be applied with neutralizer, concrete sealer or primer, patching compound, skim coat, and 2 coats of paint, semi-gloss, latex. Repainting of whole building, use penetrating sealer before repainting. Overall demolition of ceiling and existing floor tiles with its filler. We have as well the schedule of floor and wall finishes for reference. Next, we have the second floor plan. The rear and front elevation, the left side and right side view, the section elevation through X and Y, the roofs with solar panel layout plan. For ground floor ceiling layout plan, we have 2 ceilings and the schedule of ceiling finishes, the second floor ceiling layout plan, the schedule of doors and windows, and ceiling joist details. We have the fire exit stair detail, its elevation, plan and section, sitting area, section 4 and 5. Next is the conference room section. For furnitures, we have the table detail for conference room, 21 units. For conference microphone, we have 21 sets with audio wire cord. Next, we have the Haim Jensen Minimalist Beige 3-seater sofa, one set. And steel wood coffee table round, one set. And note, provide 2 units, double door inverter, refrigerator, top and bottom. Location, one in admin chef and one in ADES or FS kitchenette. Provide 1 unit, 6-seater dining table with seat with chair, hardwood. Location, dining area, second floor. Provide 1 unit, 4-seater dining table with chair, hardwood. Location, DE rest area. And provide 1 unit double bed, matrimonial with foam mattress with 2 set pillow. Location, DE's rest area. And please submit similar description for confirmation. Next, we have the furnitures, continuation of furnitures for Koan Records. It's side, rear, and top view. And note, provide push and pull clear glass door for cabinets. We still have the continuation of furnitures for cashier storage, 1 unit for finance, 1 unit for ADE, 1 unit records, 1 unit DE, 1 unit. The general notes, the beam layout plan, the foundation plan, the details of beams, we have 3. For footings, we have 2. And here's the detail for stair on fill and the section of wall footing. Next, we have the typical detail of slab, the bottom bars and top bars for section AA and section B to B. Next, we have the roof framing plan, the foundation plan, the detail of sagrad, roof beam and lintel beam, and rafter 2 detail for second floor. Next, we have the covered area detail. It's plan, roof framing, side view, and section C. And for girt, we have 1 unit. Next, we have the waterways layout plan for ground floor, its specification. And note, embed pipes in tiles and use 3 inches diameter PVC downspout with roof drain strainer. Next is the waterways layout plan for second floor and its specification. Next, we have the drainage layout plan for ground floor, the catch basin detail and its cross-section, the specification, and note, embed pipes on floor, and top drainage pipe to catch basin or nearest sewer line. Still use 3 diameter PVC downspout with roof drain strainer. Next, we have the drainage layout plan for second floor. Next is the water layout plan for ground floor. And the water layout plan for second floor. The plumbing layout plan, isometric view, the detail of floor drain. The water layout plan, continuation of water layout plan, isometric view. Next, we have the ground floor lighting layout plan, its specification, and for reference, the recess mounted luminaire. Note, use EMT conduit 3/4 inches or 20 millimeter diameter for lighting and ACU wirings. And for electrical fixture, please submit similar description for confirmation. And for connection, tap to existing breaker. Next, we have the second floor lighting layout plan with the same notes and specification. The ground floor power layout plan and its specification. Note, use EMT conduit 3/4 inches, 20 millimeters diameter for emergency light outlet on, and data or network line is separate from CO. Use 20 millimeters diameter PVC pipe conduit. Next is the second floor power layout plan, the wall mounting detail for reference, and its specification with the same note. Next, we have the ground floor HVAC layout plan. Note, provide transfer switch 2 unit to 250 amperes with enclosure and pilot lighting for ACU connections from solar. Provide ACU drainage use 25 millimeters diameter PVC pipe. Chip the walls to embed pipes. And provide isolated circuit breaker 40 amperes weatherproof protection in every compressor ACU. And the second floor HVAC layout plan with the same notes. Next, we have the solar panel details and the inverter specification. Next, we have the general notes and specifications for block diagram, the inverter specification, solar panel specification, and legends and symbols, units, and abbreviations for reference. Next, we have the ground floor data or network layout plan with its specification and same notes. The second floor data or network layout plan. Next, we have the fire extinguisher layout plan, the fire extinguisher detail and its schedule, as well as general notes. And note, remove and reinstall fire alarm system layout due to demolition of ceiling. The fire extinguisher layout plan for second floor. And the geohazard map for Municipality of Lebak. The summary of quantities. We have structure excavation, 31.80 cubic meters. For embankment from roadway, 23.74 cubic meters. Gravel fill, 6.56 cubic meters. Structural concrete, 3,000 PSI. Class A, 23.39 cubic meters. For reinforcing steel, grade 40, 1,329.16 kilograms. For reinforcing steel, grade 60, 1,051.72 kilograms. For formworks and falseworks, 153.95 square meters. For CHB non-load bearing, 100 millimeters, 417.27 square meters. For carpentry and joinery works, 1 lump sum. For finishing hardware, 1 lump sum. For flush door, 7.56 square meters. For steel louver door, 1.89 square meters. For steel doors and frames, 1 lump sum. For aluminum frame glass door swing type, 40.53 square meters. For aluminum glass windows sliding type, 7.2 square meters. For windows awning type, 0.89 square meters. For windows fixed type, 39.25 square meters. For doors flush, we have 7.35 square meters. For doors wood panel, 5.4 square meters. For ceiling, 4.5 millimeters, 1,000 0.04 square meters. Waterproofing cement base, 17.64 square meters. For glazed tiles and trims, 801.72 square meters. For unglazed tiles, 117.70 square meters. For wall, we have 23.76 square meters. For network cabling, one lump sum. For cement plaster finish, 920.77 square meters. For reflective insulation, 64.40 square meters. For wood tiles, 281.65 square meters. For painting works, masonry, 4,752.24 square meters. For painting works for wood, 14.58 square meters. For painting works for steel, 1,967.74 square meters. For flashings, we have 17.25 linear meters. For gutters, we have 34.55 linear meters. For pre-painted metal sheets, rib type, we have 81.94 square meters. For structural steel, one lump sum. For trusses, we have 562.33 kilograms. For purlins, we have 133.77 kilograms. For bolts and rods, we have 24 each. For steel plates, we have 674.12 kilograms. For fire extinguisher, we have 10 sets. For fire alarm system, we have one lump sum. For air conditioning system, split type, one lump sum. For catch basin, we have 3 each. For sewer line works, we have one lump sum. Storm drainage and downspout, one lump sum. For plumbing fixtures, one lump sum. Cold water lines, one lump sum. Solar panel with inverter, battery, and other devices, one lump sum. Conduits, boxes, and fittings, one lump sum. Wires and wiring devices, one lump sum. Panel board with main and branch breakers, one lump sum. Lighting fixtures, one lump sum. And the standard project billboard for DPWH and COA. And that concludes the presentation of the detailed engineering plans for this pre-bid. Thank you.
Thank you, presenters, for our requirements. And next will be, can we hear from our present prospective bidders kung meron pa silang mga katanungan? Sir, meron pa kayong mga queries regarding sa diniscuss kanina about sa wala pa so far? So we'll proceed na naman sa next ating agenda, which is the documents to be submitted by the bidders. So ito po yung ating mga requirements, no? Ang ating pong checklist ng ating technical and financial documents to be submitted by the bidders. So as nakalagay po yan sa ating bidding documents, and also some of those requirements are being included sa ating instruction to bidders ng ating bidding documents. So we'll discuss these documents sa ating requirements to be submitted by the bidders, no? Na part ng ating agenda. So the bidders are required to submit the following. So anyways, dalawa po yung ating mga component envelopes ng ating bidding documents na isasubmit ni bidder, which is their technical component document or envelope, and the other one is your financial component envelope. So under your technical component envelope, the bidders should submit the following. First, under your Class A documents, it should have a legal documents, which are, ito po yung ating valid Field Jobs Registration Certificate, yung Platinum Membership, all pages po ito, including po yung annex na ating kalakip ng ating, or kasama ng itong ating Field Job Certificate. Yung Field Job Certificate was a 3-page document. First page po niya is yun po yung certificate mismo with the validity. And the third page is about dun sa Annex A, which is nakalista po ito mga following documents like the requirement for the DTI certificate, or yung ating pong registration certificate from the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI for sole proprietorship, or Cooperative Development Authority, CDA, for cooperatives or its equivalent document. And dapat po reflected sa Field Job Certificate na updated po ito. Next, ating pong Mayor's Business Permit, issued by the city or municipality of where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones exclusive economic zones or areas. And lastly, ito pong tax clearance per EU number 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. So again, take note po, dapat po update po natin or na-update pa natin sa ating field jobs registration itong ating mga na-mention na mga requirement under legal documents and should be reflected din po sa Annex A ng ating field job certificate. Next, under technical component envelope, meron din siyang technical documents which are, first, yata pong statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Standard format po yan, wala po kayong babaguhin. Nandyan po yan sa ating bidding documents. Next, ito pong statement of the bidder single largest completed contract or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules, no? So, standard format din po ito. And makikita niyo po yung work category, no? Work category po nitong ating dinidiscuss ng mga projects today. Nandun po ito sa bid data sheet, no, ng ating bidding documents. And dapat po yung SLCC po ninyo is related din po dun sa ating work category na pinapabid, no? O yung gusto niyo pong salihan. Next, Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board License, no, or PCAB license, or special PCAB license in case of joint venture, and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid, no? So, yan po, PCAB or special PCAB license. And make sure po na may kasama po siyang joint venture agreement. Next item is na required under technical document is the original copy of bid security. So may option pong gumamit ng surety bond or pwede pong gumamit ng notarized bid security declaration. Kung surety bond pong gagamitin, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission. Next. Yung next item na required is yung ating project requirements, no? Which will include the following. Yung ating pong organizational chart with the contract to be bid, ang ating pong list of contractors, key personnel. Example given, ating project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foremen to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data. Next, ang ating pong list of contractors, major equipments, no? As per DEO 11, no, 2017, yung inclusion po ng minimum testing materials, equipment in the technical point of the bid, kalaki po ito ng ating list of contractors major equipments. So, kumbaga, yung ating major equipments, dapat din po, nakalagay din po yung mga laboratory apparatus na nandun sa mga ating pledge, no? So, of course, yung proof ng inyo pong pagkakaroon ng mga minimum testing materials is dapat may provided po. Like for example, yung ating pong materials testing accreditation or yung proof of purchase po ng ating materials testing equipment, no? Like the delivery receipt and the OR reflecting the name, no, ng firm doon sa OR, no? Of course, yung sa ating materials testing certificate, dapat po valid po siya, no? Para magamit po natin as supporting document na meron po kayong materials testing equipment. Next, yung ating pong original duly signed omnibus sworn statement. Standard form po ito, no? Attached po din po sa ating bidding documents, no? All I have to do is fill up yung mga required data and make sure po na notarized po na itong ating omnibus sworn statement. And if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture, giving full power and authority to the officer to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. Next, yung ating pong latest general information sheet, no, reflecting the beneficial ownership or BOI duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC for corporations po, no, and sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership in accordance with Section 82 of the implementing rules and regulation of the RA number 12009 and Field Jobs Advisory number 2025-00 no? So, meron tayong clarification dito. Yung ating pong latest general information sheet, no? Reflecting beneficial ownership or BOI duly received with the series requirement is for corporations lamang, no? Kung wala, ito pong following item na na-discuss, itong sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership in accordance with Section 82 is a required document po na inyong isa-submit. So again, no? At least siguro dapat klaro tayo dito. Next item, dito naman sa next item na sinasabi yung all bidders, no? Ibig sabihin hindi siya entity, hindi lang siya sole proprietorship, all, no? All bidders shall be required to submit a sworn disclosure of relation and beneficial ownership, clearly identifying the natural persons who ultimately own, control, or benefit from bidding entity, whether directly or indirectly through shareholding, voting rights, contractual arrangements, or other means of control in accordance with Section 81.1 of the IR of the RA 12009. So, meron pong pagkakaiba, no? Yung na-mention natin kanina, yung about sa sworn affidavit of eligibility, and saka ito namang sworn disclosure relation and beneficial ownership na requirement. Next item is for medium A contractors. Medium A contractors are now also required to submit ISO 9001-2015 certification in their bids, no? For bidding documents o project costing more than 30 million. Ibig sabihin, yung ating mga projects na 30 million, pwede pa pong walang ISO certification na requirement, but for more than 30 million, required po siya. For the case na mga projects natin na pinapakandak ng pre-bid ngayon, as per review, yung atin pong ABC dito is yung level pong 26MH0123 is above 30 million. So yun pong magre-required, no? For medium A contractors na mag-provide po ng ISO certification. ISO 9001-2015 certification. Next. So, doon na tayo sa ating financial documents under technical component envelope. The prospective bidders, ito yung isang requirement o isa sa mga requirements sa financial documents ng technical component envelope, no? Una, the prospective bidders audited financial statements showing among others the prospective bidders total and current assets and liabilities stamped received with the BIR and its duly accredited and authorized institution for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. And then, ito pong next requirement is the prospective bidders computation of net financial contracting capacity. So may relation po itong sinasabi kanina ng mga statement of sa ating technical documents, yung itong statement of ongoing is dapat po is may relation po sa ating NFCC, no? Yung ating pong mga i-declare, no, na mga projects with their financial contracting capacity na requirement na pagre-relate, no, ng mga figures or computations. Next, under the technical component envelope pa din, itong Class B documents, no? If applicable, as mentioned kanina dun sa Special Pickup License, ito naman yung Class B documents. If applicable, duly signed Joint Venture Agreement or GVA in accordance with RA number 4566 and its IRR in the case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the GVA or the joint venture agreement in the instance the bid is successful. Yun po yung ating nilalaman ng ating technical component envelope. So ano naman po yung other component envelope na nire-require? Ito po yung ating financial component envelope. Ano po mga documents na isasubmit ni bidder? Una, yung ating original duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. Take note po ito sa ating financial bid form. Standard format po ito. Meron po ito nakalakip dito sa ating bidding documents pag bumili po kayo or mag-download kayo. All you have to do is fill up yung mga data na kailangan, like your bid amount or yung discount kung meron man. And syempre pipirmahan po yung ating bid, no? Next, other documentary requirements under RA number 12009, yung ating duly signed or original duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. Next, duly accomplished detailed estimates form, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid. And lastly, ito pong cash flow by quarter. So ito yung manipis-nipis lang na envelope ng ating part ng ating bid, which is the technical, or rather the financial documents, no? Or financial component envelope. So yun lang po yung mga ating mga requirements na to be submitted, or the documents to be submitted by the bidders. So magpo-proceed naman po tayo sa ating next agenda, which is the criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, and award. So yung ating pong criteria is a pass or fail criterion during the opening of bids. As mentioned, yung ating checklist kanina di-discuss, ang mangyayari lamang po dyan is either pass or fail, no? During the opening of bids. Pag present po yung document, pass po yung per item. Kung hindi po present na document, magiging failed. And subject for issuance of notice of ineligibility po yung hindi, or mayroong isang document na na-fail to be submitted by the bidder. Pag naman po pasa during the opening of bids, na present lahat, pass siya, then isasama po yung lahat na pumasa na bidders sa ating list of ng ating mga isa-subject for preliminary examination of bids later on. And together with the or along with the opening of bids, kinakandak din po yung eligibility process natin. Ano po yung eligibility processing natin na ginagamit? Gumagamit po tayo ng Civil Works Application Eligibility Processing, which is an online application with the database na nandun sa central office, and lahat po ng mga bidders ay nag-register doon sa ating Civil Works Application, na magsasubmit sila ng kanilang mga projects completed, lahat ng mga kanilang mga kumbaga related mga projects, their projects na na-accomplish nila sa database ng DPWH. And yun po ang gagamitin ng ating Civil Works application para po mag-determine po not only the projects na data ang required, no? Kasama din po yung mga financial and yung ating po mga field jobs document or certificates, yung ating pong lahat po nitong ating Class A documents, no, are to be registered sa ating Civil Works application, dahil yan po ang gagamitin ng system para po mag-determine ng inyong eligibility. Now, during the eligibility stage, mag-determine na ngayon kung sino yung eligible, and ilalabas ang resulting eligibility check after po matapos lahat ng mga technical envelope or technical checklist ng mga bidder ay na open, no? And open and not na check. So, if passed po during the technical component during opening of bids ng technical component envelope, if pumasa po yung bidder, so ma-open po kanyang financial once ma-determine po siya na eligible sa ating Civil Works application na kinandak. Now, all those bidders na ma-open ang financial, yung kanila pong financial ay magkakaroon na ngayon ng ranking. Diyan papasok na po yung ranking of bids, no? Papasok din siya during sa detailed evaluation of bids, magkakaroon ng ranking ng first lowest hanggang sa third lowest. And yung magiging first lowest, siya po yung magiging subject for post-qualification. Now, mabanggit ko lang sa ating detailed evaluation of bids, titingnan ng back, no, ng Bids and Awards Committee yung mga documents ninyo, and magka-compute sila, i-verify yung ranking, kung tama, yung mga figures na makakompute as per versus sa inyong as read, magkakaroon ng comparison, kung meron mang discrepancy, magkakaroon ng as read regarding that. And yun, yung magiging lowest bidder doon or lowest calculated bidder doon or LCB, siya po ang isa-subject for post-qualification. Now, during post-qualification, once, ang gagawin ng ating Bids and Awards Committee dito, magkakandak sila ng on-site verification, ng performance verification, manpower verification. Yung on-site verification, including na po dyan yung pagbe-verify ng mga documents na sinabitin nyo, yung authenticity niya, yung equipment na pledged po ninyo, magkakaroon po ng verification kung working, present ba on-site, including yung ating laboratory apparatus. And sa performance, performance verification naman, ang gagawin ng ating Bids and Awards Committee, magsusulat ang Bids and Awards Committee sa mga district engineering offices na concerned. Gagamitin po nila yung inyong statement of ongoing statement of prospective bidders ongoing government and private contracts list. Doon sila magpa-verify nila kung ano ang status ng inyong performance doon sa mga projects na inyo pong nailista sa inyong statement, no? So ngayon, pag nagkaroon po kayo ng malaking slippage, so ibig sabihin not performing po yung yung bidder doon sa kanilang ongoing projects, so malamang magkakaroon po ng findings yung ating Bids and Awards Committee through the conduct of the technical working group ng kanilang verification ng performance. So it's a ground for disqualification. Sa ating equipment naman, kung mayroon silang nakitang fault or mag-fail kayo during sa equipment verification, it's another findings din. And depende din kung madaming makikitang findings, no? Yung sa document verification, authentication, pag meron naman gano'n makitang findings, magkakaroon din ng failed or magkakaroon kayo ng non-complying sa part ng post-qualification. So ano mangyayari sa bidder na merong findings or nagkakaroon ng non-compliance during post-qualification or naging non-responsive sila? Mag-i-issue magkakaroon ng deliberation ng Bids and Awards Committee and mag-i-issue sila if mayroong merit yung findings, no? Mag-i-issue sila ng notice of post-disqualification sa under the bidder na kinakandakan ng post-qualification. So, upon issuance of notice of disqualification, magtutuloy yung pagkakandak, no, ng next post-qualification sa next bidder. And while ongoing yung pagkandak ng post-qualification next bidder, yung prior bidder na in-issuean ng notice of post-disqua, magkakaroon siya ng right to raise a motion, no? Until then na mag-motion siya, the bidder will be given 3 days to reply or to file a motion. If nagkaroon siya ng motion within 3 days, and upon receipt within the 3 days, magkakaroon naman ng 5 days ang Bids and Awards Committee to act sa inyong motion para ma-replyan po niyo yung motion kung may merit po ba yung inyong motion. It will be denied or the previous findings will be ma-revert, no, or ma-accept yung kanyang motion for reconsideration. Now, for example, nagkakaroon ng umabot sa punto na mayroon silang nakitang bidder na ang Bids and Awards Committee may nakitang bidder during post-qualification na responsive naman. So, magkakaroon ng deliberation ang Bids and Awards Committee na during sa deliberation, they will be discussing kung i-recommend ba for award yung responsive na bidder. And then, through a back resolution, i-forward sa ating head of the procuring entity. If ma-approve po ng ating head of procuring entity yung back resolution, then mag-i-issue po ng notice of award yung ating pong Bids and Awards Committee doon sa responsive bidder. So, again, during sa bid evaluation, yung papasa sa bid evaluation kanina na mentioned, the bidder is labeled as lowest calculated bidder. Ngayon, pag pumasya siya sa post-qualification, which is the next stage, siya na po ay maging lowest calculated responsive bidder or LCRB. So after LCRB, and na-approve po ng head of the procuring entity or the HOPE, yung ating pong recommendation or yung recommendation ni Bids and Awards Committee, saka po mag-issuehan ng notice of award yung ating responsive bidder, lowest calculated responsive bidder. Take note, hindi po mag-approve ang ating HOPE ng kanilang back resolution o if meron pa pong pending motion for reconsideration na hindi pa na-resolve. So, ang klaro po doon, before mag-issue ng notice of award, dapat po klaro po na wala na pong naiiwang motion for reconsideration na hindi pa na-resolve. Next naman, next stage is, ayun na, na-complete na ang ating procedure for conduct of eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award. And the next stage after the award is the pag-enter po ng contract ni winning bidder o yung ma-issuean ng award. And that is a different discussion na sa ating pong during the nasa part na po na yan ng end user, no? With magko-communicate na lang po yung ating end user o yung ating construction section for the case ng civil works sa ating mga contractor regarding the compliance po ng mga requirement para po sa entering of contract and the issuance of notice to proceed. So, yun po yung ating discussion regarding the criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, and award. So, natapos na natin yung agenda natin, no? So, mag-proceed na tayo sa next na agenda, which is the questions, comments from bidders and replies of BAC and other representatives of the procuring entity. So, titignan natin ngayon sa ating live stream kung meron pong mga tanong. Walang tanong online. Titingnan natin sa ating present prospective bidder kung meron silang katanungan. Sir, meron tayong katanungan, sir? Okay. So far, wala pa pong mga na-raise na comments or questions, but then pag ang ating pong opisina or ang Sultan Kudarat 2nd District Engineering Office is willing to answer future queries na maaaring yung idulog sa aming opisina. And ito po yung mga tatandaan nating dates, as flash in your screen. Today is July 22, 2026. Kinakandak po yung ating pre-bid conference. And you have until the opening of bids on August 4, 2026 to have your concerns regarding these contracts na diniscuss today. And syempre, on August 4, 2026 at 10 a.m., yan po yung deadline nating ating drafting of bids. So, papasok na lang ako sa ating next agenda, which is the other matters. In relation to the scheduled as flashed in your screen today, yan po yung ating scheduled activity. Mag-introduce na lang kami ng mga other reminders. Yung ating pong diniscuss today ng mga contract IDs are available for download sa ating DPWH website and PhilJobs website. Gamitin nyo lamang po yung pag-search, yung mga contract IDs na diniscuss kanina, o meron kayong kung nakita nyo man, search nyo po yung mga contract IDs or yung mga location or contract name na inyo pong gustong salihan. Pag po DPWH website po yung gagamitin sa paghahanap, punta po kayo sa ating website, hanapin niyo pong business icon, then nalabas na po yung lahat ng mga pwede niyong i-searchan na project. Just search the project, for example, 26MH0019, doon sa search bar ng business icon ng DPWH website, lalabas po itong projects na itong ating na i-publish na. If PhilJobs website naman po inyong gagamitin, punta po kayo sa opportunities, and then isa-search niyo po yung contract ID, nandun na po, makikita niyo po itong ating pinablish na mga projects. And ang availability po, o ano po yung makakuha nating mga downloadables doon, ito po yung ating bidding documents and ating plano na naka-upload po doon sa website. So, regarding naman sa ating deadline of dropping and opening, yung bidding documents po natin, na-mention natin na available po siya sa website for download, pwede din po ninyong mabili, Pwede po bumili sa ating opisina, and yung ina-allow po natin na mag-transact or magkaroon ng transact for business sa atin is yung ating pong authorized liaison and the owner lamang. But if in case na wala po yung owner and the liaison, any member from the bidders company, no, mag-issuehan po dapat siya ng special power of attorney. And dapat dun po sa ating special power of attorney, nakalagay po or naka-indicate po yung specific na project na gusto niyo po siyang i-authorize to transact for that particular contract ID. And of course, dapat naka-attach din po yung kanyang company ID for proper identification, no? Na inallow niyo na siya to transact through the SPA, and syempre dapat with proper identification po. Company ID or any valid ID na maka-accompany ng inyong pong SPA for the person na mag-act as a representative. And yung ating pong bidding documents is formatted an A4 size document. Bidders may hardbound their bids, but we suggest po na kapag po makapal yung inyo pong bindings, we suggest po na i-softbound po lamang natin, and then butasan po lamang natin dito sa middle left center part ng document, and make sure po na yung ating mga per page ay napirmahan. Nandyan din po yan sa ating instruction to bidders, no? Na dapat po yung bidder po ay may obligasyon, no? Yung kanya po yung itong requirement po natin, no? Na dapat po niyang pirmahan, yung dapat pirmahan, and i-signify niyo po yung per page na kanya pong mapirmahan o may initialan, para po ito sa kanila pong benepisyo, para po malaman nila na or na-check nila, no? It would signify that they have checked their documents, na all pages is true and kanila talagang nakita, no? So yun isa sa mga reminders natin. And also yung bidding documents fee is as flash kanina sa screen. Nakalagay din po dyan yung mga bid amount, bidding fee, no? Kung magkano yung mga bidding docs na babayaran. And so far, as to na-discuss ng ating mga presenter kanina, wala silang nakitang mga further issuance of supplemental bid bulletins, no? So, yun. Yung meron mga future mga questions or comments, open po ang ating opisina for your concerns. No? Now, we'll proceed to the next agenda, which is a summary of proceedings, including supplemental bid bulletins to be issued, to be discussed, or to be given to us by Ms. Yvonne.
Summary of proceedings. Today, July 22, 2026, the pre-bid conference was called to order at 10 a.m. by our back chairperson, Engineer Reynaldo G. Castor. The basic contract data, including contract description, ABC, and duration, was discussed by the planning engineers. Documents to be submitted by the bidder, both technical and financial component envelope, was discussed by Mr. Franco Rebalo Rizzo, as well as the criteria for eligibility screening, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, and post-qualification and award. As checked in the live stream, we don't have any query from the bidders. And for the other matters, it was also discussed by Mr. Franco Rebalo Rizzo.
So I guess we have come to a point with that we'll have the conclusion of this pre-bid conference. In behalf of our back chairperson, of all the members of the Bids and Awards Committee, back technical working group, we would like to formally close our pre-bid conference at 12:39 in the afternoon.